In this part of the demonstration, we will show basic functionalities of the PRailway application created as a part of TalkNet Interreg Central Europe project, whose business logic has been described in previous videos. So the application is hosted on www.prailway.host. It's a VPS server connected to the domain that has been leased for the purpose of the project. The entire business logic has been analyzed by Aksentijevic Forensics and Consulting Limited. Now we are going to log into the application. There are several users already defined in the system, and in case that somebody needs assistance, on the main page there is a contact button tied to the email, so prospective users can gather some assistance. We are going to log in now. And we are now logged into the system as administrators. It is important to emphasize that there was a requirement by our key action partner to create the application in a way to be easily accessible also from the mobile phones. So the application might look a bit strange because of usability that is also adjusted for usage on mobile phones, and particularly on the mobile phones because people that are basically loading and optimizing cargo are usually on the go and not using this application on a workstation. However, it works very well and it's tested also both on mobile phones, tablets and the workstations. In upper left corner there is a help icon, and if user presses help icon, there is a brief overview of the business logic and standing behind the application, so every user can check all the business rules that are previously explained, and also very simple layout of particular loading schemas used for types of wagons that are dynamically programmed into the application. If we go back, we can also edit and administer users. This particular user is administrator. It's created as administrator, and regular users do not see those two options. So regular users do not see option add user and user list. Here we can see a list of users currently created in the system with different levels of access, and we can delete the user, or we can, for example, change password and end user level for particular users. Then we can try to optimize some cargo configuration. We will go to new layout option, and we have to enter maximum composition length in meters, the composition length that we desire. So for example, for Rijeka, let's go with 500 meters. In the upper portion of the display there are 6 predefined types of wagons that are used by our partner. For other railway operators it is possible also to enter their schemas, but considering this was a pilot case, we were working just with one partner, but most of these wagons are used also by other operators. And for example, we can now try to simulate by adding some of the wagons. We will add some wagons of all types. Numbers can be entered directly or can be entered using minus and plus signs. As we load the wagons to composition, length will change automatically, and we will see our position towards predefined maximum length of 505 meters. We can add also some other wagons. As you can see, we are now approaching maximum length, and if we try to add one more wagon, we will get a warning that total composition length exceeds 500 meters. So if we want, we can delete one or two wagons, and we will fall under acceptable range and there is no more warning. After we have formed our railway composition, now comprised of 20 different wagons, we can confirm. And of course, new users can download sample loading list that it has a predefined format that has been already shown in previous video. So they can use this sample loading list in order to upload their own data into the system. We will just wait for Excel to run and show how the sample loading lists looks like. Okay, so this is the sample loading list, the same one that was used in a previous presentation. Now when we go to choose file, we can select our own file that is populated with data. So we already have one prepared. And we will push done. This is the second version of the algorithm that is very fast. It works almost in a second on the server side. Remember that all the calculations are done server side. This is a web application. No calculation is done using local workstation. And basically this is the end result of optimization. It is done immediately. We have a zoom button and we can take a look at our configuration. Remember that the requirement was to optimize the loading of available railway wagons, so to use the least number of wagons and to load them fully, if possible, to the maximum of their technical abilities. And what we see here is that for our sample of railway composition that we entered just randomly, and for our set of containers to be loaded onto them, there are a few of wagons that are not utilized. In fact, we have 5 wagons that are not needed at all in order to load the containers onto them. What we can do now is that we can export the list of containers that are loaded onto wagons. If we push this button, again Excel list will be open, and this particular list can be further utilized in business process and can be used as input for various information business systems used by the cargo operators. What we can see here is the most important data about composition, which is basically type of wagon, all other technical data, including sums of data, and also very important thing is the position of the container. Remember this from the previous presentation. So every container can have generally left, or center position, center right or right position, and in any case all the data, which means bill of lading, container number and seal, has to be populated. So this is exactly what is done. For example, in this case we have RFCU 40305 container with certain seal and belonging to a certain bill of lading that is on the left position on this wagon. So this is basically the exit list or the export list of our optimization algorithm. What we can do also is save the layout. So this particular layout can be saved for later use. We can give this layout certain name, for example, test layout, and it will be remembered by the server for future use. One request that was put in front of us by our partner is also the capability to manually rearrange the containers. So if we click on a particular container, what we can do is cancel the operation. We can get information about that particular container, so we can get better orientation of what's going on, and we can perform unload action. And in this case, this particular container is unloaded into the clipboard with the basic information. We can maybe unload some more containers. And what we can do now is basically manually load the containers to predefined positions where they can be put. So if we click on this position, we will see that any of those 3 containers can be loaded manually, and we can manually select to load another container, then another, and yet another one. Now we can go to My Layouts, and considering that we have saved the test layout that we just performed optimization upon. What we can do is delete this particular layout, or we can share the layout with some of the other users. And if we share this particular layout with some of other users, this layout can be loaded when this other user logs on. Of course, all the layouts for business privacy and security are separated, and every user can see only his own layouts. Of course, the user can log out from the system, and he will be returned to the logon page. This is the basic presentation of the optimization algorithm and the web service application that is optimized for desktop use and mobile phones, that was created as a part of the key action by Aksentijevic Forensics and Consulting inside TalkNet Interreg Central Europe project.